Hi everybody, non-COVID related illness Kevin here, and of course new ban list means new deck list, and this is the deck list I'm going to be using probably for now for this season. We have 3 Veiler, 3 Maxi, 3 Ash, double Ghost Spell, double Water Lady, 3 Ray, double Rosie O'Donnell, 1 Peter Griffin Rider, 1 Rhoda, double Ngag, double Afterburners, 1 Pot of P, 2 Radical 1 Dracoback, kind of a brick, kind of, 1 Multi-Roll, 1 Fateful Adventure, double Cosmic Cyclone, double Call By, 1 Horny Drone, double Widow Anchor, 1 Shark Cannon, and 3 Imperm. And for extra deck, pretty much everything basically the same, I think. 1 Red Ray, 3 Blue Ray, 3 Green Ray, 1 Yellow Ray, 1 Halka 1 Phoenix, 1 Hita, double Zeke, 1 Celine, and of course your access code. And then in terms of flex spots, I would say you can probably take out the Hita because I don't think I've ever summoned her at all instead for a Link Spider, because there are situations where I think you could summon, your token, whatever, and then you could go into Hyco Fibrex at the same time. But I mean, I don't think it matters because technically Hyco Fibrex has 2 monsters, so it doesn't have to be effect monsters, right? So I don't know. It's an option where this is the flex spot. You can basically put anything you want. It doesn't matter. Otherwise, the terms of cards for explanations. Remember that the ban list happened. No Imperial Order. Crossout got hit, so that means combo decks get hit basically as well. So that means probably your hand traps are gonna resolve more often than not now, right? And so since the only danger to say your Maxi or whatever not resolving because of call by is because of Ghost Spell, and I think playing 2 is probably good enough. And again, it's probably a meta call, right? Where I think the top decks now would probably be Floowandereeze, maybe Outlich. Everybody who plays combo now, I think, is pretty much still unchecked. But for the most part, I think the overall hand trap lineup, we play what, 9, 12, and I guess plus 2 of those is 14 hand traps, right? Which I think the probability of us drawing at least one of them is pretty high. And for the most part, every hand trap is universal, except maybe Ghost Spell. So I mean, Ghost Spell you can probably play Ghost Ogre instead. Ghost Ogre can hit Faithful Adventure, right? Which is a key choke point. Other than that, I think you'll probably see less prevalence of DPE as well, unless you have Mad Lads who play Despia or something like that. Other than that, card choices. I play double Afterburners because now, in case there is back row heavy decks, right? You can, like, for example, Outlich, right? You're gonna have Golden Boy on field, summon probably from the effect of their trap, right? And so you can destroy Golden Bell, and you have another one. You can destroy another back row or Floodgate, and that has, like, they can't respond to it basically. Um, Another option I'm doing is playing the Adventure Engine instead because, uh, you know, DP now is probably not that worth playing, especially since it's like I broke DP. That's hilarious. Fusion Destiny now, if I believe correctly, is still at still it's a 1 now, right? So that means you either have to hard draw it, meaning your Anaconda is probably dead, or you make Anaconda to send 1 card. If it gets like Veilered or something, you're probably screwed. Well, I mean, you can still technically draw it, but you know what I mean. And plus, the other options for playing instead of like Celestial now is like uh Malicious and like your Denier, right? And I don't think that's probably good for Sky Striker overall. I think if you're playing like another deck where you play a fusion heavy deck, then it's probably worth playing the one of Fusion Destiny and stuff like that. But it is what it is, right? So other than that, those are my card choices for now. And of course, oh well, I forgot about Pot of P. I still think playing one of Pot of P is good because it's like a Saki card, right? It's really good, especially if you're able to like deep into your deck for that 1 extra card. Like for example, you top deck this thing, you draw into that, and then you're basically able to like go off. You know what I mean? So I think it's worth playing 1 Pot of P. In terms of things I could probably change, maybe Ghost Spell. Ghost Spell is probably still what if, because I mean it hits Called By, and so every combo deck is probably playing 2 Called By, 1 Crossout. Before, Crossout would probably make your Ghost Spell irrelevant, but now because Called By is a 2, your Ghost Spell can negate the Called By, and like I'm pretty sure nobody plays Ghost Spell. And like it also hits, your DPE if they're playing the 1-off, hits a mirror match, hits a lot of other underrated decks. The only thing it kind of sucks against, I guess, is Floowandereeze, right? But that's okay. Floowandereeze, we have outs to it, like through um we can Ash or Veiler. Maxi is kind of useless. This is also good because you basically stop the normal summon, it's basically over. And then we have Cosmic Cyclone for Field Spell, right? So that's my deck list for now, gang. Now let's look into some hardcore, very serious gameplay. Hi everybody, we're back with more gameplay. Top left Kevin here. So we drew Veiler, we drew Ray, Rosie O'Donnell, one Peter Griffin Rider, and one Widow Anchor. So we're gonna see how it goes, right? Again, we lost Arrow, we're going second, of course we are. And we're playing against Despia. So that's one of the choke points. You Veiler that, so they gonna get the branded whatever fusion card. Right? Easy peasy. And it's at 1. Alright. So remember Despia, what you're playing around is probably Super Poly. I know they play Super Poly. That could also be the branded whatever that card is, the quick play thing. They can add stuff, so could also be called by, but I doubt it's called by because remember they probably would have hit the Veiler. So that narrows down a lot of things, right? So I mean it's matchup knowledge, right? When you play the game a lot, you kind of have a feel for what the card probably is. So maybe Super Poly, we might have to play around that. Remember that Ray is a dark, right? This is also a dark. Aluber is also a dark. As you can see, and remember they can go into like Starving Venom, Fusion Dragon or something. And remember Super Poly is, you basically can't respond to it. So you summon that, you're probably screwed, right? So, and we do Maxi, hilarious. We summon Ray, we'll see what they do. It turns out, at this point, I probably think it's not a Super Poly. Or maybe they're waiting for me to do it, like, overextend or something like that. But, I mean, because remember, Super Poly is unrespondable. So if they do that, then basically we have no normal summonable monsters except maybe Wandering Griffin Rider, but that's not going to accomplish anything, right? So I just stick to the game plan. I choose not to go to Rose because it has 2 monsters. You'll never know. Maybe they play that one, a dragon, whatever it's called, the level 4. You know, I'll probably post a picture right here of what I'm talking about. This card right here, right there. This card, okay. Of what that card probably is. So that's why I'm trying to play around. Excuse me, non-COVID related illness, Kevin. So going to Green Ray, of course. We go on to Green Ray. Remember that we already sent Ray. We could send Rose, but remember that we're playing against Despia since it's mostly a fusion deck. They'll probably have their monsters in the main monster zone. So I mean, our deck's best option is probably send out extra afterburners or like Hornet drones and turn them priority, right? Those are usually the cards you want to send. And then if you're playing Area Zero, which I don't recommend you play Area Zero in this format, you would send stuff like that, right? So don't be a greedy Gary and send like Engage, because remember they have 3 cards. This can also be imperm, but at the time when I was playing, it did not highlight, right? So it's probably not imperm. But remember, you get imperm, that means your Engage is stuck in the graveyard, and that also means your Blu-ray can't search the Engage at the end phase. So that's why it's better to play it safe for now. I mean, they have no follow-up on the first turn, so that's why you know, just stick to your game plan. Don't do anything stupid. You got Maxi. So I choose to send Hornet drones. We go into Blu-ray and just set 1. Keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. So maybe this is a misplay, because I could be playing Mech Knights. I don't know. You could put it over here instead. Maybe that was a better idea, but I had a feeling this is probably gonna get rid of somehow, right? So we're gonna attempt to activate. And now the ashes, so we can't search for Engag. And remember, since they ashed us, that means our Maxi is gonna be alive. See, now what I've noticed probably from this format now is that Maxi and other hand traps are resolving more often, right? At least it feels like it resolves more often. I don't know. So we can't search. But it's okay, we have follow-up. That's also another reason why you send Hornet drones, right? So they're gonna Poly. We're gonna chain Maxi. This could still be a Super Poly, but I doubt it. Let's see what they go for. Oh wow. See what I mean? This is what people are playing now for DPE. Even though Fusion Destiny is level 1, you can still hard draw Poly and make Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer through sending your Denier and your Malicious. So they're able to basically pop off at this point. Right? We draw a Ghost Spell. That's pretty good, remember? Ghost Spell, you can negate the activation of Destroy Phoenix Enforcer if they're going to activate the Destruction effect, which they probably will, right? But the good part about the ban list now is then we have to deal with Celestial, so they're free draw, right? So they're going to activate Denier. I'm like, go ahead. Go ahead. They can't kill us right now at all, right? Remember that you have Yellow Ray. Yellow Ray can negate an attack, right? So it can save you from getting OTK'd, and we want more cards. Because technically we have a brick, kind of. I mean, we have follow-up, and this is kind of a dead card, right? Well, not really, but you know what I mean? Like, we want to draw them more cards. So let them pop off, whatever. We have a negate that will go through no matter what. Because I doubt anybody is playing Crossout. If there's this Crossout, and Crossout, call Widow Anchor. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm choosing to just hold on to this, right? And this is also why Widow Anchor is like one of the most broken cards ever. Because like, It almost guarantees like it goes off. There's nothing that can stop this from going off. Aside from Salvager, we do know that Imperm, that's hilarious. Verde Anaconda, so excuse me. So they're gonna go into Verde Anaconda. I thought in my head like, oh, they already sent Fusion Destiny, so I mean, what else could they possibly do? Brandon Fusion? Who knows? Super Poly? That could probably be it, right? So we'll see what happens. They draw. Would you veil it, which is almost a perfect card, but they choose to become turn it dark. So they're probably gonna send Super Poly, right? They're probably gonna send Super Poly. This means it's probably not Super Poly right here. Now you have an option, right? What do? Do you just Widow Anchor or do you Veiler it? Remember, if we Veiler it and this is called by, they can negate it, right? We can Widow Anchor and then negate the Predator Plant. Another thing they could do is they activate this to dodge by destroying their own Predator Plant, Verde Anaconda, and I guess my, Ray or something, and then technically the effect, I believe it still goes off. Yes, but I mean, then they can't do the secondary effect, so that's really dumb of them to do that. So they have to activate it. We're gonna chain Widow Anchor to make sure that this effect is negated and they can't do the thing. They're gonna chain Brandon Red. Never mind. But we're gonna chain Ghost Spell because remember the effect by banishing stuff or special summon. Remember, Ghost Spell, very underrated card by the way. Says no to that because you special summon a monster technically or banish a card from the graveyard, right? So there you go. No. The Widow negates that. Now they're down to 3 cards. Enter battle, of course. Whatever. Ray's gonna come out. Ray. They're gonna activate DPE, destroy their own Verde Anaconda, and then our Ray. Remember that if you tag out, it technically doesn't target, so it will this will resolve first, and then whatever they do will resolve next. So, I mean, it sucks, right? But you just have to take it. But we have follow up, so it doesn't matter. End phase. Draw a card. Let's see what we draw. You multi-roll, kind of a dead card, but that's okay. Obviously, you Imperm first, so you have to deal with that. And they just quit. So, Maxi, Maxi. I love Maxi. Maxi is so good. It's literally the best card in the game, gang. No matter what. Always play at least 2 Maxi. I know, Floander is, ooh, but still. It punishes a lot of decks, especially. So, on to the next one. Hi, we are back again. Yes, and this, I think, was my ranked match, actually. Maxi, Ray, Cyclone, double Rider Mimicyr. So we have Maxi. That's all. It's all good. As long as I go through, which we probably will go through now because Cross out at 1. Live Twins, cool. Live Twins. They're kind of like Striker, but like worse. Bias aside, I'm kidding. But I think overall they have basically the same sort of game plan, right? They try to 1 card. Striker isn't really a 1 card combo deck, kind of, right? But they can start off their entire whatever they got to do with 1 card. I mean, Striker, you have a bunch of toolbox cards, so that's the main key difference. And also, I think Striker overall is probably better in the grind game because Live Twins, to my recollection, is basically like a bunch of handies, and your handies don't affect Striker that much at all. I think, in my opinion, right? Because I mean, what do you ask? You ask Thingag, but like as a smart player, right? You don't engage until you can like make sure it resolves. And even if they ash it, you can go into Red Ray. Red Ray can add back the Angag. If that gets valid, then they're down 2 cards, and you just basically baited out everything, right? You know what I mean? You're gonna play through everything with Striker. So, and plus we have Adventure Engine, which I don't think Live Twins play. I'm gonna chain Maxi. I'm gonna draw 1 more. They're gonna triple tag his talent. Wow. They look at 1 card and try to screw us. I mean, if I were them, I would have probably done Call By. That's probably the best option because then if they have a hand trap, then they just hand trap us and we can't play. For example, if they have Maxi, right? But you'll see what they choose to do. They choose to send Ray for some reason, which I think was a bad idea. But Call By is one of the most broken cards in the game. We do know Cyclone, hilarious. But we have starter card, so we're gonna chain Maxi. And again, I'm very at this point. I like, why would you? I have a Call By, right? Like, you could have just done Call By, and then like I probably would have maybe skipped turn if you just shotgun Maxi. I summon Ray, attack this, go into another one, give it another draw, and they still have a bunch of follow up. You know what I mean? But now I'm gonna set up an Omni Negate board, bop up to these things, and they're down to 2 cards, right? Unless this is a Ghost Spell, which I don't think anybody plays, right? So I was very confused, like why they chose not that. And again, that's what happens when you play against Striker and like I guess Maxi, right? You get punished. So We are able to maxi them. They couldn't maxi us. So it feels bad. Right? I guess this is what people were complaining about when like they go first, they set up their big board and then they drop maxi. Well, it doesn't matter, you have call by, right? So our Rider Mooster is gonna pop off. Now again, the other thing that can maybe screw us, I thought to myself like, oh, maybe they did that so the Ghost Ogre can go off, right? Because I mean, you're playing against Live Twins. Live Twins is a lot of hand traps, right? And remember that this is a continuous spell, so if it's no longer on the field because of like upon resolution, then it doesn't go through, right? So, and it looks like it isn't. So these are two mystery cards. Now it could be Ash. I don't know. If it was Ash, then they probably would have hit us with the, you know, against the Maxi, right? You know what I mean? It's like when you play like a long time, you start like going through like your reasoning and deduction skills, right? Where you have a feel of what these cards are. So these are probably, I want to say, less impactful hand traps. Probably like Nibiru, maybe. Maybe it's Veiler. Who knows, right? So I'm gonna attack. Sure. You're probably wondering, why did you attack that one first, Kevin? Remember this card? When either player takes damage from a battle involving Evil Twin monster, technically that's an Evil Twin, right? No, never mind. Okay. But anyways, it's better to like double check and read. Always read. Reading is very important, right? Because you'll never know, like one sentence can screw you over. So I chose to attack that. I don't think it mattered, but just in case, I'd rather attack this because they're gonna banish some stuff and then lose attack or whatever. Who knows? Right? So just pop them. They're down to 2 cards. We have negate, destroying their back row, or technically banishing their back row, right? And we have follow up. So he just passed turn. All right. Do Nash. Now here's a very greedy play I could have done, right? Or I think it would have been a horrible idea, but it's better to play more like consistently, like as this, how would it say, like slow and steady wins the race, right? Rather than go all brake no gas, especially since at the moment our board is not that like unbeatable. You know what I mean? Like they can top deck 1 card, for example, their Live Twin, right? They can top deck 1 card because their Live Twin is a 1 card deck technically, right? They top deck that. Let's say I negate that. They have another follow up. Then we're basically screwed because we have no interaction aside from Ash, right? And yeah, the greedy play I was talking about is that I could have summoned Ash Blossom in order to make Hauka Fibrax. Because remember, Hauka Fibrax is 2 monsters, including Tuner. It was technically a monster. We could have done that, right? And then I would have been able to activate Rider Mimicere since I do not control a adventure token. So it means Griffin will be alive. But if we do that, our Hauka Fibrax would be susceptible to, like, you know, Veiler or something, which I'm guessing they probably might have had, right? So we're gonna attack directly. Just keep it simple, stupid. Rather than, they're down to 3 cards. They did nothing on their turn. So either that means they break, or these are like hand traps. They're waiting for me to get like overextend and then punished, right? So who knows, right? We're gonna pass turn. They die next turn unless they do something. So we set both of these. Now we have Cyclone, right? What do you do with a Cyclone? Do you banish this one or that one? Well, my 200 IQ brain is that at this point, I think in the latter, which I think at this video or whatever, is that on platinum, right? The platinum people are probably better than the average Joe, right? Because you have to get good to like play. And also, maybe I'm giving too much to my opponent, but then I always banish usually the second card, right? Especially in this kind of like ladder or like skill. I always banish the second one set because smart people usually don't set their most important card first instinctually, you know? I think bad people do that subconsciously, but then good people will probably know not to do that, instead set the second one. So I usually always pop the second one. And so now if you watch my video and then you know, and you're playing against me somehow on ladder, set your important one first and then set your least important one second, just in case if you're playing against me. So we're gonna banish the second one. And it was Forbidden Droplet. Alright, that's pretty good. You know why? Because then Forbidden Droplet, remember, negates effects technically. So this won't be negated. This will. That will be 15. I think they'll be dead anyways, but say this is a hand trap. We have to bop it and then attack again. And I think they still be barely alive. So that was a good hit. Alright, so Mr. Card. So what do you send now? Obviously, we're going to go for game because this is a Mirror Force or whatever and just negate it. And then, you know, search it again. And then we have another follow-up for their following turn and we'll kill them turn 8. So it doesn't matter. We set that. We're going to try to go for game. We're going to call by. Sure. The Drew to call by. Probably, right? It sucks. And that's probably GG. Yep. I don't know. I don't know. We got lucky. We got lucky, right? It's a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, but it's making good decisions, right? Because I don't know. It probably was a hand trap. Who knows, right? Probably was a hand trap. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Non-COVID related sickness, Kevin. I don't think we're probably gonna stream tonight because of my voice, as you can see. But thank you for watching. Peace, love. Bye bye. More updates soon. Don't worry. I'll have an intro too. This is my outro song for free YouTube monies. Give me some likes and sub for me, please.